This is for all you liberal jackasses out there, including President Obama. In 1993, the World Trade Center was bombed. During that same period of time that Bill Clinton was the president, our troops were attacked in Somalia after transitioning the Marines out and putting the Army under the control of the UN in the Black Hawk Down incident. The Khobar Towers were blown up, the Cole was attacked, the African embassies were blown up. Bill Clinton didn't do anything other than work some magic with his cigar and Monica Lewinsky. The reality is that 9/11 was a product of that complicit, limp-wristed, feckless foreign policy that we saw during that period of time. And he runs around as a respected guy. He's a joke. He's a jackass. His foreign policy, her operations as the commander-in-chief were a joke and created the ground that George Bush was handed. People say Bush was in office. Go fuck yourself. The reality of life is that the guy was in office 8 months. The attack was supposed to happen earlier in the year, and he would have only been in office a few weeks. So let's get to the facts here. What do we have again? We've got a video of Barack Obama talking to Medved saying that, after the next election, I'll have more flexibility, cancels missile defense. What happens? The Russians roll into the Ukraine. Wow, surprise, surprise. The rebels fighting the Ukrainian army shoot down a civilian passenger airplane, a 777. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. What else happens? Barack goes into Libya with a force of rebels to destabilize Gaddafi. Gaddafi was an asshole. I don't really care that he's dead, but there was no UN or congressional approval. It was a war that was supposed to take weeks, not months or a year. And what happened? We went, got Gaddafi, blew his brains out in the back of a pickup truck with no trial. Did the liberals bitch? Did they moan? Did they carry on? Did anyone bitch or complain about the fact that we invaded a foreign country, deposed its leader, and then executed him without any trial? Where's the ACLU? It's a joke. Then what happens? Well, that seemed like a good idea, so let's go and do it in Syria because Bashar Assad's an asshole. Well, he is an ass and he is a terrorist, but at least there's some stability there. So what happens? Well, we say if our rebels that we're funding go in there and there's no use of chemical weapons by Assad, that we're drawing a line in the sand. So what does he do? He uses chemical weapons against those rebels. We flee, hang the rebels out to dry, and wonder why they become or metastasize into ISIS. Let's see. There's a huge-ass vacuum in Iraq because, what did we do? We are a dumbass. We took all of our troops out of Iraq. The Marshall Plan in Japan took 25 years, you clown. You can't just leave Iraq. George Bush told you what was going to happen. Your own defense secretary told you what was going to happen. Even Hillary Clinton with her wig told you what was going to happen. And you still managed to fuck it up. So now what happens? All the people that supported us, when they dipped their finger in the ink, all the human intelligence in Iraq, what happened? Well, they got their heads cut off. What happened to the Christians? Head cut off. What happened to anyone that wasn't in line with ISIS? Head cut off. So now in Iraq, over the period of time, people have either been killed, they fled, or they got slaughtered if they stuck up for us. So do you think you're going to be able to go back in there and get anything done, jackass? You should have left the 10,000 folks in there. But let's see what else we've done. The Fort Hood shooter, workplace violence, yells Allah Akbar, shoots a bunch of unarmed military people. Unarmed military people. Oxymoron here. How about Libya? Wow, you didn't know that the Red Cross was attacked? The Brits left? Everybody else left Benghazi? Let's leave our folks there. 600 requests for security. What do they get? Nothing, not even one Marine. Nobody even shows up there until 9 p.m. the next night. The only guys that had the balls to go and protect fellow Americans were SEAL team guys that were retired working on a completely different deal there. It's a joke. And what did you do? You went night-night. You went to sleep. You won't even admit where the fuck you were during that period of time. It's a joke. Hillary Clinton, you stood in front of the parents of those guys and you lied your ass off. Not only did you not provide adequate security for your own Democrat ambassador, not only did you leave those people in the middle of the fight to die, the 4 people were dead anyway. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? You fucking hag. You know what difference it makes? Is that there were 50 people there and that fight could have gone on for hours and days and you didn't send any help and all of those people could have died. We don't leave people behind. Maybe you do, but you're a Democrat, so I guess we can expect that. Surprise, surprise. Let's move on from there. Susan Rice, we trot her out with a lie about the video. How about the guy that shot that poor video? Oh my God, he made a video, an anti-Islamic video. He's in jail. I don't even know if the guy's still in jail or not in LA. What did you do? The guys that burned down the consulate, murdered our guys, we got one guy. And it was years later. Where are the rest of the guys? What's happening in Libya? You think that that's a success? Do you think that what's going on in Syria with everybody kicking everybody's ass is a success? Let's see now. Bashir Assad, is he beholden to the Russians? Does ISIS have any jets? I don't know about that. So why would the Russians be bringing in these sophisticated surface-to-air missile systems? You're a jackass. Yemen is lost. The Ukraine is lost. Syria is lost. Libya is a mess. Iraq is a mess. The Iranians, the Chinese, and the Russians are on the march. There are people slaughtering Americans in the streets here, and you're too chicken shit to call it terrorism. What else is going to happen? You're going to let 100,000 refugees in when the FBI won't guarantee that they've been vetted properly? One of your own people today said that the refugee program was being abused in Europe and now being abused in the United States, and they're trying to get in here. Whose side are you on, Barack Hussein Obama? Whose side are you on? When do we wake up and see that the enemy-in-chief is sitting in the White House and he's undermining this country? He's undermining the economy by driving up $20 billion or $20 trillion worth of debt. He's undermined the desire for people to succeed. Is the workforce participation rate is 4 points lower than it was when George Bush was in office. Sorry, I'm losing my breath. I'm so irritated. What else has he done? Let's see. We ran guns down to Mexico. We had Eric Holder and this new Attorney General Haig investigating every police department that's already hanging their guys out to dry. And yep, there are bad cops, but the majority of cops are not bad cops. And they've turned the police into the enemy in this country. Yet the people that are murdering each other in Washington, D.C., Chicago, and all these cities that are run by liberals are allowed to slaughter each other with no ramifications whatsoever. I can go on and on and on, whether it's the economy. Do you think that when you make the widget in the United States and you pile on more taxes and you pile on more regulation and you pile on more union stooges into the process and that job gets exported, guess where they make the widget? They make it in China, they make it in Brazil, they make it in India. So you not only lose the job, jackass, but they make 10 times more of the pollution. They're making the same widget. When are you liberals going to wake up? Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, they're the enemy from within. But you are the cause of it because you vote, you stand there in the back with your purple dress on, your little vest as a man, sandals with socks, the whole thing. When are we going to wake up? I'm an immigrant. My grandparents got here in the early 1900s, 1918, 1919. It's a different time. The enemy is amongst us. We need to treat people fairly because there are plenty of Islamic people here. There are plenty of Arab people here. There are plenty of other people here that are good people. But we need to deal with this shit with an iron fist. And the time has come where this jackass needs to either be impeached or go. Because something bad is going to happen here. It's no different than it was when Clinton was in office and he allowed all this bullshit to happen. And here we are again. What's going to happen until we go and kick ISIS's ass? They understand one thing, the boot on the throat. Roll every round of ammunition, roll every bomb in pork innards. Drop those 2 fucking bodies off out of a B-2, stuffed with pork on a mosque. Here are your savages back. Don't do this again. Police your own. And I would write a letter, formal letter, open letter, to all of these countries, Iran, Syria, whatever else. We're going to put balls in a lottery machine with the various cities. And if one of your kids so much as throws a fucking rock at us, we're going to destroy a city. Police your own. That's the only way this ends. We cannot kill everybody. We cannot be everywhere. We cannot afford to be everywhere. But we certainly can hold the people accountable where these roaches live, in the countries in which they live. We're not going to go after the Taliban after the fact again. How many Americans need to die? Whose side are you on and who are you protecting, Barack Obama? And how stupid are you goddamn liberals to continue to support this failed economic and foreign policy? Enough.